Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a review of Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. Now, I want to first apologize from it's later than I normally do recordings, and you would think that there would not be as much noise, but alas, that is not the case. It's weird because I feel like I live in the suburbs of Brooklyn and still there's so much noise. So Boyfriend Material is about Luke and Oliver who decide to enter into a fake relationship. Oliver because he needs a date for his parents' anniversary party, and Luke because he's dealing with some gross homophobia from both his boss and his clients, which I don't think anybody really ever comes out and say this is homophobic as hell, but that's exactly what it is. Luke specifically needs a boyfriend because his image in the media. So Luke needs to be seen in public by the media with someone who's considered the right type of gay. You know, they seem like they have really nothing in common from the get-go, but somehow it starts working in a way. I guess the classic case of opposites attract, or we're more alike than we originally thought. Honestly, both characters had weird and unusual reasons for needing a fake boyfriend. It just seemed like a weird plot line for a story. It just did not make sense of why they needed to, but I'll go into that later. So I'm going to try to remember the order of how I usually do this. So for genre, I would say M/contemporary romance. Editing, 5 out of 5. No grammatical mistakes, no spelling errors from what I saw. No continuity issues. Every time I say that word, by the way, I say it at least 3 times in a video and slow it down, and then I go back and say it. So if you notice, there's always a cut before continuity. Steam level, nothing. I was so mad about that. I was so mad because it kept teasing. Nothing. I would say probably like a quarter of that little fire emoji that I use. Definitely nothing. It's fine. Not everything is gonna have any steam. It's fine. Book cover, I like it. It's not like anything really to phone home about. It's nice. I would say probably a 3.5 out of 5. You know, simple, nice, to the point. I love the use of the London colors or the England colors. So yeah. Favorite character? If you asked me my least favorite characters, I would have a long list of people. Bridget, Luke's boss, Luke's dad, sometimes Luke. Okay, so maybe not. Oh, Luke's clients. I think that's it. Off the top of my head, Bridget would be at the top. I do not like that bitch. Luke is fine, but I will say that Oliver was probably my favorite. I usually go for the underdogs, honestly, like the ones that are just so sweet and nice and just want to love you if you would just let them. That is definitely the people that I go for. So Oliver was definitely my favorite character. He was the only redeemable one. Oh, and Alex. Alex in this book, I'm worried about you, Alex. Are you okay? Are you okay? Overall rating, 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't hate the book, but I didn't walk away thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I read that. It was just kind of like okay, you know, in my week or my month. It was just kind of like, okay, we did it. It happened, you know? So, and I know that a lot of people love the book, but can't love all of them. Before I go into my review, I want to take this time to plug my Instagram at bookmark.for.later. Very simple. I'll leave it here. I post a lot of bookish content there. Whenever I post a picture of the book after I'm finished reading it, I will do my star rating there. When I'm reading a book, I'll have the notes app open on my phone and I'll just go and type my thoughts in as I'm reading a book. So that's usually my Instagram version of a review. You should check that out because sometimes the thoughts in my head makes no sense and also very crazy and judgmental. So definitely go over there and follow me. With that said, let's get into the YouTube version of the review, which is Oh my gosh, I am so itchy today. I will first start out with my positives. This book was a good book. I thought the relationship between Luke and Oliver was very cute. I liked what each person brought to the relationship for, you know, what Luke brought to the relationship for Oliver and what Oliver brought to the relationship for Luke. Oliver definitely, I think, made Luke a better person. And I always hate when people talk about relationships in that way, but I think that's very true for this book. Not in a bad way. More that Luke had some bad tendencies. He wasn't good at maintaining his relationships with his friends, only like turned to them when he needed them for whatever reason. He wasn't maintaining a healthy lifestyle. And so Oliver being in his life kind of pushed him to look at himself and look at how he's been treating other people, how he's been carrying himself, and really becoming better about taking care of himself and showing up for people. So in that way, I think it was good. It's not that Oliver expected this of him or pushed him to do these things, but it's kind of like, you make me feel better about myself and I want to be a better person. I love the funny bits. I think Alexis is very good at comedy in his book. I would say though that there were times that I felt like we were being trolled, which I'm sure was the case. You know, there's this guy that Luke works with called Alex, and he is dumb as a bat. Are bats dumb? Is it bat as in bat that flies or bat that... Is it even dumb as a bat? Anyway, he's not the smartest or the brightest crayon in the box, is what I'm trying to say. And there are times where it first starts off as really funny, their little banter, and then I started wondering, I'm like, Alex, do you need help? What's happening? And then I'm just like, okay, Alexis, too much. Like, just, this is too much. And then I realized at some point, I'm like, I feel like we're being trolled, and this is funny if we're being trolled. And so then I kept going with it, and that was fun. I'm finding it very hard to talk about a book that I rated 3 stars, mainly because usually, for me, 3 stars is a meh, you know, like I got through the story. I was able to get through the story. I was able to read the book, but there's nothing that pulled me in, but there was nothing that pushed me out either. I didn't have to like put it down or DNF it. Anything I think that's below a 3 stars or 2.5 stars, most likely I DNF'd it. Life is too short to be reading books that are not 3 stars and above. So I definitely did not hate the book, but there was just nothing that I'm like, oh my gosh, this was amazing, you know? I do have some things that I have not necessarily, ooh, I just got an idea, guys. I can see my face, like my camera reflected in the artwork that's back there, and now I'm thinking like, ooh, I can put a mirror here where I can see myself reflected to see if my video is okay. I'm so excited. Okay, that's besides the point. One, there were so many characters in here that did not get their just due, and not in a good way. Like, some people needed to get hurt, some people needed to get cursed out, some people needed to lose their jobs, some people need to fall from grace, and I feel like all of them just like got by. First of all, my first comment or my first thought while reading this book was, I hate Bridget Wells. Bridget is Luke's best friend, and I hate her guts. I hate her, I hate her, I hate her. My morals are like super annoying, where I'm just like, there are certain things that you just never do. There's some lines that you never cross. And she crossed one of them, and I was just like, you need to drop that bitch. I cannot stand her. And she doesn't get her just due. She's seen as this like cutesy girl that's only trying to help Luke, and she's like the whole reason why Luke and Oliver got together, and she's just like frazzled and always late to things, and she's so cute, and she's like the one straight friend in the group, and blah blah blah, and she's so great at her job, even though she's scared she's always gonna lose it, and she never gets her just due. And I won't spoil it for you, so I won't go into too much details of why I don't like her. But if you do read it and you feel the same way, please hit me up in the comments so we can talk about it, because I can't stand her. Next is Luke's boss. This woman said some homophobic shit, and it just was like, oh yeah, no, I'm just saying something. I'm not being homophobic. I'm not homophobic. I don't hate gay people. Like, you know, this is just what it is. Fix it. And I'm like, one, that's illegal, Luke. You should sue her. Quit your job and sue her and take her for all she's got. But again, she's all fine and dandy. She gets to say problematic things and just go through life being fine. If this was like a straight person or a cisgender straight person writing this book, I would have been like, I'm not reading this shit. So you win this one, Alex. You win it. Or Alexis. Who's the next one? Oh, Luke's dad. Do I hate him more than I hate Bridget? The thing with Luke's dad is that he didn't do anything that I was not expecting, or that he is not. It's kind of like when someone shows you who they are, believe them. So I believed him when he showed his whole ass. And then when he showed his whole ass at the end of the book, I was like, I knew it. Like, this man is a terrible person and has been a terrible person your entire life. So I'm not surprised that he did this thing. I hated those three people. I wish they had gotten their just due. And the fact that things just like didn't happen to them made no sense to me, but whatever. The next issue that I had with this book was it was too long. Like 4 chapters away from the end of the book, I was just like, get me out of here. Like, end this. It does not need to be like, they could have already gotten together and been okay and been like, oh, I love you. I have feelings. Be with me. Okay, let's go together. Yay. Bye, guys. Thank you for reading the book. Why did we need all this like hoopla at the end? I feel like I would have enjoyed the book more if it wasn't so dragged out. It got to a point where I was just like, I'm tired of reading this now. I want to go on to something new. Like, I had another book by the same author that I was like waiting to read. I'm like, okay, can I go on to this book now? So it's not even just like, oh, I don't like his writing. I love his writing. I just felt like this was too long for the story that it was. It just was not necessary. It's a cutesy book where not too much happens, and so it should be like a fun time, and then it just gets dragged out. It wasn't dramatic in any way. If it was a very dramatic book where things are just happening and, you know, death and destruction and fire and buildings blowing up and cars crashing into each other, I am now thinking of Transformers, but you know what I mean. Maybe I would have been like along for the ride, but after a while I was like, I want to get off now. This ride was fine. It wasn't anything that really like stole my breath. It was okay, but I want to get off now and check out other things. So, but overall I enjoyed the book. I know it kind of doesn't sound like it. It is very hard saying all the things that you liked about a book when you rate it 3 stars. So it is very hard. And again, I know a lot of people loved it. So don't just take my review for it. Check it out. Alexis Hall is a wonderful writer. I love his stuff. So please don't take you can't get all of them. You can't win all of them. It was just something that, okay, it happened. I'm moving on. So let's move on. The next book that I am reading is Wolfsong by TJ Klune. I'm enjoying it so much. I think this is my 3rd or 4th read. I know I've reread it at least once, maybe twice. So this is my 3rd or 4th read. And I'm still like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to do a review for you guys. It's so good. If you have not read it yet, please read it. Brother Song comes out on October 13th. Read the entire series so then you can enjoy it. Like, unlike me, who had to wait like months and years for the book. Maybe not years. I think it was like less than a year. Read it. Pick it up. Come onto Instagram and talk to me about it because I'm constantly talking about it. Until then, I will see you guys. Please, 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 if you haven't, go watch my previous video talking about race and the role that it plays in Black indie authors in the stories that they tell and who those stories are about. I think it's an important conversation that I would love to have with you guys. So please go watch and leave your thoughts in the comment section. Until then, I will see you guys next time. Bye.